Hello BookTube, I have my weekly reads. So I read and finished 2 books this week, and I will be starting some books tomorrow, which I will show you at the end of the video. So let's go on to the books I've read. I had a pretty good reading week. I liked both books I read. A bit disappointed that I only got 2 in, but that's roughly an average for me, is 2 books. So first, I finished Stephen Fry's Mythos. This is his retelling of the Greek myths. I rather liked it. Certainly the first part of the book where he focuses on the creation of the universe, the first gods, the first generation of Olympians, the second generation of the Olympians, and their character are really good. I think he kind of loses, or at least for me, I thought some of the more human-centered stories were a little disappointing, and some of the ones that he chose to focus on in more depth, some of them I weren't quite fond of, particularly like, say, Eros and Psyche, and some of the later ones I thought had maybe a little bit too much time spent on them, while other stories might have been forgotten about. Namely, say for example, well, there's quite a bit on the Titanomachy, the war between the Titans and the gods that would eventually form the core of the Olympians. Had some coverage, and quite a good amount of coverage. Could have been more, I think. The Gigantomachy, the war with the giants, was barely mentioned, and really nothing with Typhon. Now, both of these stories might appear in the sequel, Heroes, but they could have gone in here if since this book focuses more on the gods. Another quibble I have is some of the gods he focuses on, how he focuses on them, and some that he leaves out. So, Apollo and Artemis in Greek mythology are not, I repeat, are not the gods of the sun and moon, respectively. The sun god is Helios, the moon god is Selene. It's only in later Roman mythology that Apollo and Artemis are identified as sun and moon deities, respectively. So, why exactly Stephen Fry chose to present Apollo as the sun god, even though there was Helios, and his explanation for how he saw it, like that switch, I don't like. I mean, if he wanted to do it, it could have been the opposite way, that Helios was the sun god, and then the thing with Phaeton happened, and he retired, and Apollo took over. And I think that might have been a very interesting take, particularly with some of these gods, Apollo in particular, where they start off as one thing. Apollo in the Iliad is very much a god of plagues. He's a god of plagues. How does this god of plagues become the god of reason, the god of moderation? And how does he later become god of the sun? That would be an interesting, I think, sort of creative license to take with myth retelling or mythology retelling. And another issue I had was the relative absence of Hecate, who, while to a degree is a relatively minor god, I mean, in the mythology that we have, she does play a certainly very important, influential role in, like, say, Hesiod and also to a degree in Athens, and I want to say Byzantium. So that was maybe something else to think about too. But on the whole, I really do like Mythos, and it really lit a fire creatively for me, so that's always a great thing. And so yeah, definitely happy I have it in my mythology collection. And the book I just finished today, so Mythos took me, I want to say when it started at Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then Tuesday through today, I've been reading and just finished a few minutes ago, Imagined Life by James Trefil and Michael Summers. So this is a science book. It takes as its theme, its subject, the speculated existence of extraterrestrial life, and under what circumstances life could appear on various exoplanets. How would they form? What kinds of technologies could they come up with? And they end with speculations on life that it would be very different from us, using other chemistry or other molecules. Say we're carbon-based, what would a silicon-based life form or sulfur-based be like? And then also more radically different species, say ones operating under electromagnetic evolution, artificial intelligence, and also kind of looking into the future of what science, the progression of science and scientific instruments that will be coming in the next few years. So this is a very, very interesting book. It also, one thing I was quite pleased with and surprised by is some of the chapter have illustrations preceding it, and they're kind of come out from, I guess, posters that NASA did a few years ago. So you see there's that, and then there's here. I really like the one for Venus. And Jupiter. Oh, lovely. And the cover is obviously image of a TRAPPIST-1, an artist's rendition of TRAPPIST-1. So, yeah. So I really enjoyed it. I think there were some parts where they got a little bit too speculative, and yeah, maybe not as much depth as I would have liked, but still really, really a good exploration of what extraterrestrial life might be like and how they might form and evolve and what have you. So, pretty good. So that was the week that we've largely just finished. What am I going to read this weekend and in the coming week? So first of all, this weekend my main target is to read from the library Symphony in C by Robert M. Hazen. So this is a pretty short work of science. I should be able to finish it hopefully this weekend, maybe read most of it tomorrow and maybe a chunk on Sunday, and I'll be able to move on to something else. Okay, yeah. Next, depending on how things turn out, I might either on Sunday hit these two, or if not, move it on to Monday. I'll read Creating Lifelike Figures in Polymer Clay by Katherine Dewey. This is research for my NaNoWriMo rewrite. Still need to come up with the title for that. I will eventually. But anyway, so looking forward to getting this one. And also Classical Sculpture by George M.A. Hanfmann. which I want to say this only has like 32 or 40 pages of text, and the rest of it is like photographs. So this shouldn't take too long to get through. And then on either Monday or Tuesday, I plan to read Lady Hotspur by Tessa Gratton, which hopefully I'll be able to get through the bulk of like Monday through Friday or Tuesday to Friday. And if either I go rather quickly or if I bail, which I know I shouldn't expect to bail, but you never know. Or obviously this will be the first book of what I read. In the next video will be Everything Trump Touches Dies by Rick Wilson. Yeah, looking forward to getting to that one. And yeah, so that was my reading week and what I'm looking forward to getting to this coming week. Yeah, so until Monday, have a great weekend, BookTube.